Hello, friends. Welcome to Empty Cloud Monastery. I'm Soman. I'm here with Pante Sudaso and Ayavata. And we're here to introduce a new project. So, Empty Cloud Italia. As you can see here, we have linked it. You can see the new website. So, this is new aspiration to create a Buddhist monastery, forest monastery in Italy, my home country. That will be the first Bhikkhuni training monastery in Italy. Actually, first Bhikkhuni residence in Italy as well, since that there's nothing like that currently available, and also the first gender inclusive monastery in Europe. So big aspiration. So maybe I'll ask Bante Sudaza to share a few words on how this came into being.
Well, briefly speaking, so for several years now, we've been periodically going to Italy. So in the beginning, it was starting with Ayasoma, going to visit her elderly parents. But as we started going to Italy, then there were a lot of people in Italy that reached out to us and asked us to come and teach Dhamma programs. And by we, I mean her, because at the time I didn't speak any Italian. So there was only one of us giving Dhamma talks in Italian, namely Ayasama. So inviting her to come and give Dhamma talks and offer Buddhist programs. So we started traveling all over the country and meeting groups of Buddhist practitioners or people interested in Buddhism. So it's developed into this extended network of Italian Buddhist practitioners with appreciation for monks and appreciation for traditional Buddhism. And this then is now culminating recently in this new project, this idea to take a piece of land, so about 135 acres of forest, which is actually just outside the hometown of Ayasoma's father, and start a forest monastery. So as Ayasoma mentioned, the plan is that this will be a gender-inclusive forest monastery, so bhikkhus and bhikkhunis will both be able to stay there. And also it will be the first place in Italy that offers residential practice and training for women to become bhikkhunis. So yeah, overall a really wonderful new thing for this year.
Thank you, Bante. Yes, as Bante mentioned, so actually the traveling in and of itself to Italy that has been happening on a regular basis in the past years happened, a little bit when life gives you lemons. So my parents as they got elderly and a little bit isolated in Italy, I had to go back after the pandemic more and more often. And then in the past October, my dad passed away, and we went to bring him back to his original hometown in Puglia, in the heel of Italy. And it was actually very serendipitous because we found, after the funeral, we found this beautiful forest for sale in his hometown, right in the countryside. It's actually very rare to find a forest in Puglia. And we found this, untouched, preserved patch of forest, and it was for sale. And there seemed to be some devas kind of pointing us in that direction. And I was then kind of trying to figure out how to be closer to my mom because she's currently having a lot of health issues, and she's currently here at Empty Cloud Monastery, but it's a little bit difficult for her to be in a foreign country where she doesn't speak the language. And so I was like, oh, how can I also share the Dhamma with my mom while also being close to her. And it just felt like, wow, this is a great opportunity to, when life gives you lemons, then just make lemonade. Because in the past years, also so many women have approached us, sharing how they wanted to ordain, but there was no place for them to do so. And there's currently in Europe, currently in the EU rather than Europe, because actually now we have the greatest news that in Europe, Bhikkhuni Monastery just opened, training monastery. So in the UK, so Venerable Chanda has started through her project Anukampa Bhikkhuni project, the first Bhikkhuni monastery in the UK, but it's not part of the EU. So there's still visa problems and all of those problems, including the language issue. So then the idea to open something for women, actually the co-founder of this organization is precisely an aspirant bhikkhuni, who has been trying for several years to actually go forth, and there weren't the conditions. And so we decided to somewhat make it happen. It's a little bit of an ambitious project because actually the owners, they were willing to wait for us to do some fundraising to create the sort of economical conditions for the monastery to happen. But they weren't willing to wait too long, just a little bit. So we have 3 months up until the end of April to come up with a total amount of the donations. So that's a total of 300,000 euros. And currently, I believe there's about 33,000 or 34,000 that have been raised. So I think that, yeah, it's a beautiful opportunity for every single person to buy a tree and preserve a tree in the south of Italy, and make this possible for so many sentient beings. And Venerable Vata, would you like to share something about this project? Venerable Vata has also been traveling with us.
Is there anything in particular about you?
Whatever inspires you.
Okay, thank you, Venerables. Yeah, I think that it's a really beautiful opportunity to also help establish a place that provides conditions for practice while taking care of family. And recently we've had some Dhamma teachings on the importance of caring for parents and on just being in community, but also the importance of maintaining our Dhamma practice even while we're doing that. So I think that this is kind of a beautiful opportunity to not just practice Dhamma by supporting parents, but to have both more traditional forms of practice in terms of having seclusion, going alms round, and being a vehicle for generosity and the mutual relationship between the monastics and laity that the Buddha set up, and also being in vicinity for Aya to be able to be around her mother or to have her mother visit. And I think that it also is a great example for everybody in the area, including family members, of just what does it mean to have mendicants or renunciant spiritual practitioners in the place. And that's one of the things that I found really beautiful about Italy is there is this tradition of spiritual renunciants, specifically Catholic monks and Catholic mendicants. And so sometimes when, as Ayan Bante and others have talked about before, when Buddhist monastics go alms round in Italy, often people understand. Maybe it takes a little bit of time. Maybe they need to see somebody else bring food to the monastics. But generally speaking, people have an understanding of the value of generosity and also the value of learning, of going to ask questions to spiritual practitioners, of also sharing maybe their difficulties or sharing what they find inspiring. And I think it brings a lot of richness to the community. So this monastery, if everything works out, will be right outside of a small village, as Bante mentioned, Ayasoma's father's hometown. And a lot of these traditions are disappearing in our world. So maybe people for spiritual practice and spiritual guidance, maybe they go to TikTok or some kind of social media platform, right? But I think that there's just so much value in having these spaces exist in the world, and also preserving these beautiful forms that have been around for millennia in many traditions, without being stuck, say, in clinging to the past. It is an opportunity to grow, and it is an opportunity to adapt and bring these teachings to the modern world, but not by altering the teachings or changing the essence, right? So I think that this is just a beautiful opportunity to help share a space, both as monastics and with the lay people, of preserving these kinds of beautiful hallmarks and beautiful refuges of spiritual practice. And I think that it's also why we go to refuge to the Sangha, right? The third refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha is really this meeting and these opportunities for the monastic Sangha to practice in seclusion, or to practice in the wilderness, to go alms round, to be dedicated to meditation and study, but also to be dedicated to generosity and being an example for people, and in being able to be there for people in this world. So I think that, that's what comes to mind immediately about this project, is just kind of the beauty of preserving this and the importance and the impact it has on the community. Yeah.
Sadhu, thank you, Venerable. And good to see so many friends online. Hello to John, Jayanta, Yankiapo, Matthias, Mano, Bhumika, Richard, Kit, Karuna, Luisa, Suchi, and Niranjan. Matthias says, I'm happy for you in Italy, Europe, and all sentient beings. I believe that Matthias is our friend from Rome. And Sara as well, also a friend from Milan, says, I am really happy to hear your news and looking forward to meeting you again in Italy, Pili, etc. Good to see you, Mini, as well. Yes, so once again, the project hasn't happened yet. It really depends on all of you to make it happen, and also to share the news and create the conditions for other folks to support it. So Venerable Banda and myself will actually be traveling to Italy in a couple of weeks, and we will be going obviously to Apulia, I think you say it in English, right? I learned recently. So the heel of Italy, where hopefully the monastery will come into being, and then we've been invited to a few places up in the north. We'll probably also stop by in Tuscany and in Rome. So hopefully we'll be able to meet also some Italian friends. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to post them here on the live chat. But I know that one of the frequently asked questions that I've been receiving is, are you taking Bhante Sudaso with you? What's going to happen to Empty Cloud Monastery and so forth? Actually, I'm going to be taking Bhante Sudaso with me every now and then. But not permanently. So he, just like in the past couple of years, Bhante Sudaso will be coming every now and then to Italy, as well as Venerable Bada, and vice versa. I will also be coming here. I personally will have to spend more time in Italy due to my family situation. But this is also actually the idea so that when I am at Empty Cloud Monastery, I can be a little bit more present rather than having to take care of only family things. So I've been really thinking so much lately about, the nuclear family versus the sort of more collectivist way of intending actually a Buddhist family, that it's not just, mother, father, and children, which can be very isolating. So many people, I realized, are going through similar trials and tribulations that I am going through right now. It's somewhat a kind of modern problem. But historically, when I even think about my grandparents, or when I think about Buddhist communities outside of like in the home countries, there's usually a broader kind of network. There's a broader family. When you go to when I used to go to my mom's town when I was a little child, I had so many aunties and uncles that I wasn't related to, and we literally called them auntie, Zia Maria, Zio Mario. Like there's so many, Zia Silvana. Like there's so many aunties and uncles that then whenever I would go to the city where I grew up, so in between Rome and Milan and so forth, all of these uncles and aunties disappeared. And I only actually had a mother and father and two older brothers, right? So this is a little bit the nuclear family that we kind of have created lately that can be so isolating. So the whole also thinking also what Better Wolvada was talking about, I've been really thinking about that. What is also a monastery? It's not only just a place where monastics live, but it's also a place where community grows. So we've seen this at Empty Cloud Monastery here in New Jersey. There are so many different people that then become our extended family. So what a gift to actually recreate that also for my mom. So then she doesn't necessarily need my presence there, right? Not only has to be her blood daughter, but she can actually have so many different daughters, so many different sons, so many different siblings, so many different also parents sometimes, because people who are older than her. And last time that we were in Italy, she had a 98-year-old mother. She's 80, my mom. So yeah, could have been her mom. And so that's such a beautiful gift for everyone to be able to go back to having this extended family, not only for my particular family, but for everyone, for every single being. And I feel like here in New Jersey, we have put the right conditions on, and not only obviously the three of us, but rather actually all the lay people that come here, and it feels like such an incredible extended community, which I have much gratitude for. And so I would love to be more present. There's obviously a little bit of a language barrier whenever my mom is here, so she needs extra attention. But then possibly in the future, then she can stay actually in Italy, and I can be here more present. Oh, Nat, good to see you as well. Nat is traveling in Thailand. Hello. And Kit says, where can we donate if we wish? Through Empty Cloud website. Here it says you can see emptyclouditalia.org is where you can donate. Otherwise, you can also on the Empty Cloud website send a donation and just make sure to mark it that it's for the Monastery in Italy project. Obviously, it's a sister organization, Empty Cloud Italia, so you can support one through the other. And Nienada says, is the land just bare land for now? Will everything have to be built from scratch? Also, do you think it will put an age limit on ordinations? So the land actually is 80% forest. And then there are two, currently there are grain fields that are going to be reforested. So there's a plan of reforestation. So actually lots of Bodhi trees we're planning on on planting, since in Puglia there is a perfect climate actually where Bodhi trees can flourish and can grow really quickly. The climate there is a little bit like California, so it never gets cold. And there is a sort of how do you say, bare bone hacienda, like a sort of farmhouse there that needs to be renovated. And that will be actually turned into a retreat center. So where everything will be offered freely without a price tag, just like we were operating the Rockaway Summer House prior to Empty Cloud Monastery. So retreats one after the other. And that will be actually taken care of many different Italian lay people that are local and very excited about this project. So there will be monastic teachers going. Hopefully, we're planning on inviting many monastics to share the Dhamma, so it won't just be the Empty Cloud monastics leading retreats there. And then when it comes to the forest monastery, well, we're planning on having a very Spartan sort of situation. So just simple bare kutis built in the forest, and then there will be just a larger sala. And then the lay folks are planning on their part of the land, the Buddhist lay folks, to create some structures for the hospitality of lay folks. So it will be a monastery run by lay people. And the duty of the monastics there would be to meditate and occasionally lead retreats and share the Dhamma and so forth. Okay. And Suchi says, I'm not familiar with towns in Italy. Where is the town located? How is it spelled in English? So I'm going to type it in. The town is Acquaviva delle Fonti. And it's right outside Bari. So Bari is actually one of the main cities of the south of Italy, and it's very easily reachable. It's also beautiful because it's an international town. So there's many immigrants from all over the world. There's a big Bangladeshi Buddhist community that's very excited that monastery will be popping up very close by because they can reach it through public transportation. It takes half an hour from Bari to go to Acquaviva delle Fonti. And like the forest is right outside the town. So it's really a miraculous also location in a way for the friends there. There's also a smaller Sri Lankan community in Bari and tiny Thai community. We don't have many. The only actually Buddhist community that is big in Italy is the Sri Lankan community, but they are usually more in Naples, Rome, Milan, and Sicily. Cool. Will there be places to stay for construction, lay workers, and generally for lay people? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, as I mentioned, there will be, well, first and foremost, the lay people, the Buddhist lay people, are planning on creating a structure, just like at any kind of forest monastery. There will be hospitality, and there will be the opportunity to come and stay. But there's also the retreat center, which is very important. I think that is very unique, especially in the West in general, where retreats can be very expensive and only available for very few sort of more wealthy people. Removing the price tags and making this an offering of generosity, I think it will be something really special and very good. I don't know if the Venables want to add any. Okay. And Renzo Samaritani says, I'm following your live stream, and unfortunately do not understand English. Since yesterday I've activated a small monthly donation for Italian Temple. Since yesterday I want to be considered a disciple of your mission. I live in Puglia in Trani. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for existing. Sadhu Anumadana, Renzo. Noi arriveremo in Italia, io e il venerabile Vada, tra qualche settimana e saremo in Puglia. Passeremo anche per Trani, quindi scrivici un'email che così ci incontriamo di persona. And Bahadur Sani says, Bangladeshi, as a Deshi Buddhist, I'm so happy someday I will surely go and see. Sadhu. Yes, the community is also like really delightful. So we're very happy about that. And Nat says, will you stay mainly there? I will spend more time than the other two venerables there. I mean, this year I'm leaving in a couple of weeks, and I will stay until the Vasa. I will return to Empty Cloud. And then I don't know exactly next year how things will go. Everything is a little bit anicca, super anicca. Everything is anicca, but right now in my life, it's super anicca. So this project is just, as I mentioned earlier, trying to turn, a bit of a difficulty in my family's life into something that instead is for the benefit of everyone, every single sentient being, from lay folks that I haven't even met of the town, from the Buddhist practitioners that I have met, to the women that want to ordain that I have met, to my family that I have met, to the squirrels, to the all the creatures that live in the forest that we haven't met yet. There's like foxes, wolves, wild boars in the forest. So helping protect also the environment is actually something good for them. So so that's a little bit the aspiration, but I don't know exactly my schedule. But Bhante Sudaso, of course, will be at Empty Cloud most of the time. And Julie says, I'm sorry what will be of Empty Cloud? If you did not already say, I'm very happy about the Italy project. Bhante Sudaso?
Empty Cloud will still be here. So Empty Cloud Monastery here in the US, it's not going anywhere. It will still be here. As Ayasoma just mentioned, the current plan is that I will still be here most of the time. And of course, we'll still constantly have other monks coming and going. So this year, we already have several other monks, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis lined up to come and spend various lengths of time here, ranging from a few weeks to a few months each. So Empty Cloud will continue to operate and will continue to be full of monks as usual. So that's not changing. So we're adding something new in Italy, but we're not removing what we already have here in the US.
Yes, I would say that for all our friends that normally come to Empty Cloud Monastery, nothing really will change. Maybe actually they will start seeing me more active. Because, as I mentioned earlier, these days I have to spend a lot of time taking care of my mom. Also that's why I kind of disappeared from the live streams, because there's just not enough energy to do everything. Okay. And Joanna says, how long will you be in Italy roughly during this trip? As if possible, I would like to visit the area and meet with you if possible. Could I message via email? Yes, please send an email. I'm going to put here the email of the project. So for any questions, you're welcome to write to info@emptycloud.it, and someone will get back to you with a list of all the different engagements. I will be, as mentioned, traveling with Venerable Vada, who speaks fluent Italian now.
Not quite fluent, but
many folks in Italy think that he's Italian. So he's going to help out, also sharing the Dhamma while we are there. Okay. And Gita says, I enjoy every moment you have with your mom. And yes, I'm trying to do my best. And I'm also trying to repay her, as the Buddha says. So, the only way that we can repay our parents is not by just, cleaning them up or doing every single, or like even carrying them on our shoulders. But the only way that we can repay them is by sharing the Dhamma with them. So this has been my sort of biggest aspiration right now, is to be able to share the Dhamma with my mom and help her release some suffering, some dukkha. And so this seems like the best way to be able to accomplish that. Great. Okay. So I think that's all for this morning, unless some other questions pop up. As usual, if you are interested, you can look at the website emptyclouditalia.org, and if you can if you can share the news with other folks and share the opportunity to support this beautiful Dharma project, it will be for the benefit of many sentient beings. Right, so we can end with 3 sadhus. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.